Hello everybody, this is Ninja, and I am going to be giving you a quick tutorial here on how to use my FPS tweaks for CSGO. First thing you want to do is go to my profile here, scroll down a little bit, go to this media file right here, just click it, and click download right here, and then after you download this file, it'll look like this. You want to double click that file, and inside this file there's going to be an array of files. The ones that you're really going to use here are the autoexec, the config, and depending on what monitor you have, the BenQ. What I did is I just grabbed all these files and I dragged them to a folder. Now this way you can play with the files a little easier, and it's much more convenient. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to take these two files and you want to extract them to this folder. It is defaulted as CFG for the name. If you look here, CFG, take them, drag them, and replace them here. It'll ask you to overwrite the CFG file. Say yes. Next step you need to do is you need to right click, go to properties, uncheck read only, click apply. And you can go in here and change your binds to whatever you like to use. You can also delete this if you do not like this. Now these are custom crosshairs I use. I use these because I like to use different types of crosshairs to mess around since I don't play the game professionally anymore. I like to change up the visual aesthetics of it. I like to basically just, try out new things and just play with my CSGO to make it, more fun, I guess. Some of these crosshairs you probably will never use. Some you may find useful. So, you can adjust those to whatever you like. Now down here is something you're going to want to change, obviously the default crosshair. You can change that in-game after you uncheck the read-only, or you could change it here if you know the code for the config file commands. The name you don't really need to change, obviously. You would change it to yours if you're that concerned, but it goes off of whatever you use for your SCA or your Steam. The next two things you will need to change are your zoom sense and your sensitivity. Other than that, you don't really need to change anything. Just say leave everything. And if you do need to change something, such as like your radar scale, for instance, you could change that. Your right hand, I know some people use right hand. I don't. I like left hand. I'm an old 1.6er, so I always use left hand. I love left hands. You can see the recoil better, in my opinion. I don't know. It's personal preference. The auto exec here. Now this is a script that I wrote. You can notice I used to use this for 1.6. I called it SNA because it would pull out the nades without having to cycle through the menu. And just with one click of the button. But what this does here is actually cycles through 4 different crosshairs. And I use a smaller crosshair here for my pistols. And then without having to even open up my console, I just press mouse 3 and it bumps it up to crosshair 5 with a different gap, and so on and so forth with 4 and 6. So like if I pick up a mag 7 or a shotgun, I'll use size 6. You don't have to use this. You could adjust these though if you would like to use a crosshair size that is more fitting to your game. All you do is simply just change it in each line of code. So where it says cross size 3 gap -1, if you change this to 2 0, you would just change every 3 -1 here to 2 0 and every line here, and that bind will work for you. Now down here I do have my FPS max set at 300. You can change this to 0. I believe a lot of people say it produces a smoother gameplay. I actually found 300 is more than enough for me, even though I can get around 600 after all these tweaks consistently with 10 players in the server, sometimes even up to 15 or 20 when I'm deathmatching, but it's really up to you. I mean, I guess if you have a horrible computer, just use 0. R-draw trace first person, that's a preference. Like yet again, you can change that. It just shows bullets shooting. I don't really care. I guess people in competitive gameplay say it helps. I don't really play competitively anymore. I'm 27 years old. I've had my run in competitive gaming, and I just play for fun now. So there's really no need for me to use all that geeky shit, like seeing where my bullets go and seeing bullets coming at me through smokes. I really don't care that much. This is a radar scale, the new command. You can change that if you need to. It's really preference. I like it set at 0.6, and I like it rotating. I don't really like the stationary block, so I use it with the rotating menu on. This just closes the buy menu. Every time you buy something, it doesn't stay on your screen, it closes, because I found that highly annoying when I switched over to CSGO, and I did not like it. The bread and butter of the FPS tweaks are going to be like here and here. Also, this command here, you do not use it if you do not have a quad core or higher. The reason why you use this command, and it helps some people, at least for me in my instance, is it enables multi-threading and the use of the dash thread command, which I will cover next. I guess Steam defaults 3 cores according to some articles I read. So what this does is it enables multi-core threading, and then that way what you can do is go to my launch commands, which you will copy paste to your global offensive properties launch commands right here, and I also put it in here. You don't need to do that as long as it's in your auto exec. I don't even know if this works anymore, but you can keep it. What it does is it enables my quad core. It utilizes all 4 of the threads, and I find it boosts my gameplay with that. The next stuff in the launch options, in case you want to remove some, this is just for mouse excel. I'm not sure if that even works anymore. This is for if you have a 120Hz monitor. This just saves some FPS with the anti-aliasing fonts. This removes that stupid video when you open CSGO. It's highly annoying. This sets your priority to high. Sometimes what I'll do is if I'm experience any gameplay lag, I'll even like alt tab and I'll set that to real time. And if I have like music on, what I do is I set that to low priority on Windows Media Player or whatever, Winamp, and then that way that my CSGO is utilizing most of my memory and processor speed. This just enables your console when you open in game. This disables the joysticks, saves you a little bit of memory, I heard, so I use that. This command I got from Yayo from DB9K, really nice guy by the way. I guess he was told himself from somebody, I don't even know who it was, that it does something with DirectX. It gives you a little FPS boost, especially if you have a shitty computer. So try that out. If you don't like it, go ahead and remove it. It's no big deal. Okay, so those are your launch options. Next thing I'm going to cover here is the video settings, which I'm going to make a new video for because this one I'm not sure how long it could be before I upload it to YouTube. So this will be the end of video 1, and video 2 will continue on.